All right, here we go. We got it. We got it. So now I just want to make sure that you all understand why. That's right. Keep dropping it in the chat. I see Nigeria, Jacksonville. I see you all logging in. But let's go ahead and discuss why. Why is this so important? Why are we doing this? Okay. What is going on? Why is my mindset so important? Why do you need to know where I'm calling from? Why do I need my affirmations? Well, let me ask you all a question as we dive in, because it's 6 months, hear me clearly, to six figures. 6 months to six figures. We did $100 days. We did that. If you participated and you obtained $100 day, let me get a 777 in the chat. If anyone on this line tonight obtained $100 day, let me get a 777 in the chat. And then also, if anybody on this line, literally, look at these 777s. Okay. So that's what I say. We did that. We did that. Now, if you can do that, wouldn't it feel wonderful to know that you can learn how to compound, that you can learn how to press forward? And do you believe, if you believe that you can do six figures, if you believe that you see, have we had consistency in our trade accounts? Are we looking? And that's what we're here to educate you for. If you believe that you can do this, and just like Miss Anderson says on Tuesday, what if you got it half right? Let's just say you got it half right. So if you believe that you can do this, give me a 555 in the chat. We're going to talk about these affirmations here. We're going to make sure.
Hi, traders.
Right?
Uh-oh, hold on. Free membership access to the complete trading course. I normally sell for
so hold on. My YouTube. So I had to mute it for just a moment. I'm like, we're streaming, right? We're streaming. And all of a sudden I hear the stream coming through. So I had to pause it for just a moment, but I'm back with you guys, okay? It's like, what is going on? What is that? So no, but seriously, if you believe in yourself, you believe. I see all these 555s. Now I'm so serious about this belief. I'm so serious about your level of understanding. I'm so serious about you understanding that you can actually obtain this. And see, this is why we affirm. Where your focus goes, your energy flows. This is why we affirm. This is why we walk in this. This is why we have to speak these things. This is why you have to speak life. This is why you have to be your own best friend, right? You have to be those things. And so this is, I'm telling you, tonight we're doing that mindset check. Tonight we're getting that mindset right. That is what we're doing. That is how we're moving. All right. So now if you are new to this call, you're just joining us. You've never been on a call with us before. I know you have got to be excited, and I'm telling you, you can do it too, because you're going to spend this first month learning, and then we're going to get it. So even if you got it half right, 6 months to six figures, I'm excited. Let's go. All right. Let's talk our affirmation. See, everybody should have dropped the affirmation by now. I should know where everybody is on this call. So BYOB worldwide. So I am an educated, right? Educated. Now, be your own bank. We focus on education, because if you want to have a profitable trade account, and I'm not talking about a trade account where you some days in profit, some days you not, some days look good, some days don't. So one day looks like this, the other day looks like that, right? If that's what we're looking at, and if that's ultimately you're not educated, you're just doing it. And that's not what we do. So we are an educated BYOB master trader. So we are focused on the education. All right, focused on the foundation of your education. And this is why we're the largest economic empowerment movement. And this is why so many families around the globe are being financially educated and impacted. This is why I am the signal, right? Oh, let me not forget the anointed for wealth. No. I'm an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in profit, I am 777. Now in our Telegram chat, you see 777s. That simply means the market is your ATM, right? That's what that means. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, this affirmations. So whether you're on this call, whether you're at home, whether no matter where you are throughout the day, you get up before the morning calls, no matter what it is that you do, what I need for you all to commit to doing is speaking life and affirming before you trade. So we're doing a complete mindset shift here. This is what we're doing. So I just need you to commit to yourself. That's what has to happen right now. You have to make that commitment. Okay, let's make that commitment. Now, all right, so let's go ahead and dive in here this evening. If this is your first time here with us, your first time on the call, let me get a 111. And if you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. Right, 111222. So welcome, welcome, and welcome back. Welcome, welcome, and welcome back. All right, guys, welcome and welcome back. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my screen shared together, and let's make sure I'm pulling up the right thing. All right. Let me see here. So let me get my screen share going, and we are going to have a good evening tonight as we talk. Now I know that some of the things that we said is, you know, the month of July, technically it's July, but we're gonna treat it like we're gonna treat it like it is, and we're gonna treat it like it's not, right? Does that make sense? Because I know we're supposed to be doing some tools training, but I definitely want to close out this month strong and close out this week, right? That's what I want to be able to do. I want to close out the month strong, close out the week, but also really kind of gear up for like next month, obviously, or actually is this month, as we really press into where we're headed and where we're going with 6 figures to 6 months. And so there are some things I want to address tonight, really kind of empower you just a little bit. And, you know, first, obviously, mindset is really critical. Mindset is key. And that's ultimately why that's what we started and where we were focused on. Now, and I'm going to tell you guys what I told you all this morning. And I want you to think about this as we dive in here, because I want you to understand trading is not hard, guys. It's not hard. So we're going to talk about the BYOB cash out strategy, right? And we're going to show you that, but I want you to understand trading is not hard. You know, the hardest thing that you've ever had to do was learn how to drive a car. Now, how much does a car weigh? Does anybody know? I just know it's like a big old heavy piece of metal. Like even if they put on that little tab on the back of your medication, when you put on that tab and you say, do not use heavy machinery, you guys don't think it's a car. You'd be thinking like a forklift or something like that. No, they're talking about your car. All right. But yet all of you all run towards getting a driver's license. You run towards wanting to learn. It's so exciting. It's thrilling, right? We embrace the process. We start, you know, you never drove before, but you're telling people, I can do this. I got this. I'm the best driver out there. Do you even know what the gas pedal is? You know, but yet when it comes to trading, you start second guessing, you start questioning, you're overlooking things. And yet this is not the hard thing. Driving the car is the hard thing. You're going 80 miles an hour down the road in this big old heavy piece of equipment that, I mean, and you don't weigh anything compared to it. And so I really want you to put that in perspective. So I want you to embrace this market the same way that you embrace learning how to drive. I want you to embrace this market the same way that you embrace, right? That's how I want you to embrace. I mean, literally. So I can do this. I am the best. I'm the greatest to ever do it. I am a master Forex educator. I am a BYOB master trader, right? I have $100 days. I obtained 6 figures in 6 months, right? So just think about it. And then even since we're talking about a car, what happens if you get a flat tire? What happens if you end up with a flat tire? Do you stop and sit on the side of the road and say, you know what? It must not have been meant for me to go there. It's not meant for me to, you know, it's just not meant to be, right? No, you don't say that. What you say is, Can somebody give me AAA or Geico? Somebody get somebody out here and help me change that tire. You guys probably can tell that I don't change my own tires, but you know, I'm just saying that you fix it, you readjust, you do what's required, and you get up and you keep going because you have a destination and somewhere that you need to go. So we have 6 figures waiting on us. We have a 6-figure December coming up, right? So I told you guys I was doing a new account here with you. I funded a new account. You know, I'm here with you. We're in this together. We're walking this together. So you're not in this by yourself, right? You're not here by yourself. We're all in this together. You did too. Look at there. See, you see, BYOB educator represent. I love it. So come on through, Pimp Master. So this is, this is definitely, what we want to do. So we're all in this together. Hear me clearly. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about the strategy. I want to talk about you guys really understanding that, come on, I see you. I want to talk about you guys, talking about this top-down analysis. I want to, really hone in because I want to make sure that you guys understand how the markets, play together. So, you say thank you for that. You did one yesterday. I love it. So I want you guys to understand how it kind of coordinates together, and what it does. So that's where I want you to be able to see. So because the time frames they all are important. And so as we really run into July, we're gonna, tonight I just told you what we're gonna do. But then as we run through July, we're really going to focus on how, we're really going to focus on the tools and using them to your advantage, okay? This is what we're going to do. We're going to use this to our advantage. But we have to understand how the time frames flow together, okay? We really have to understand how the time frames flow together. Because yes, I'm about to show you the BYOB cash out strategy on the 15-minute chart. Yes, you can do 10 pips and cash out. Yes, you can only do 10 pips and cash out and be successful. Yes, you can operate on that frequency. You can stay there. However, your skill set must evolve to where you are learning, right? To where, like, even think about it, if I want to stay talking about driving, you're not just driving in parking lots still, are you? So remember, you didn't get on the highway at first. So I know I didn't. Well, actually, I taught my kids how to drive on the highway, so we're not gonna talk about that. But we didn't get on the highway at first, right? We didn't do that. What we did is we stayed on the street, and then we didn't get in busy streets, and then we got on the highway, and then we went to places like Atlanta. So it was a progress. It was a progression. And that's the same way your skill set should be. It should be a progression, okay? So here we are on a 15-minute chart, right? Foundation, 15-minute chart. What we're going to talk about is the sell and a buy. So let's just talk about a sell and a buy, okay? And then we're going to focus on this higher time frame. And now I know I'm going to come through and I'm going to click this. It went away. It's down here. Because actually, I can reset it. Let me just reset it. That's what it's going to look like, right? So it's triggered on 5-minute. This is what the chart looks like when you pull it up, right? This is what it looks like. You have to be able to come through here and analyze it, right? That's actually what you have to do. So now as I come through and I analyze it, as I come through, we're going to go to the 15-minute chart because that's where I want you to be. I want you guys to get in the habit of scrolling in and scrolling out, scrolling in and scrolling out. You need to understand and see the market, but right now we're going to scroll in. So all we're focused on is this area. So if I was looking here, obviously because of the time of day it is, both of these markets are closed. So the market is open, but these two markets are closed, right? See, the London and the US, they're closed. So that's why it looks like this. So we don't have a choice other than to kind of go back, right? And analyze the past. So now you see how this no liquidity. All right, so now let's look. So here's my stochastic. This is my leading indicator, right? This is my stochastic, okay? Leading means that's the first indicator. This is the one I look at first. This is the one, I know you look at the candles first. I know you do. but I need you to make your decisions based on stochastic first. Because if I'm looking for a buy, right, you see how this is kind of move. I'm not really like, I was trying to see if it was one that was going different. We've seen them, but you're gonna be looking here first. Okay, you're gonna be looking here first. So like even this is kind of well, no, that flipped too when I got right there. So let's just wait on that example because it's not on this chart right now. So as I'm looking at this, okay, I have a blue line cross over the red and a downward momentum. I have that right here. All right. And so here you have it. I'm at the 80. So around the 80, I'm looking for a sell. All right. So around the 20, I'm looking for a buy. Now, guys, if you got questions, comments, or testimonies while we're doing this, I want you to drop it in the chat. So here, trust me, I'm gonna stop for a testimony. I love a testimony. I like to celebrate you guys. So here you have around this 80, right? Blue line cross over the red. Yes, it has to cross over and cross down. So very important. Okay, blue line cross over and cross up. So very important. Now what I'm looking for, let's make this bigger. And there goes my little arrow. Move it to the side for a minute. So now what I'm looking for is a red candle with a flat top and a PSAR. Now let's go through this together, okay? Let's walk through this. Let's just walk through this. So here I have a red candle with a flat top. Do I have a PSAR? My PSAR is a dot. This doesn't matter which one comes first. So I'm not ready, okay? I'm not ready. So I'll put an X right there. Now I come here and you see this is the next 15 minutes. My stochastic is still moving down, my leading indicator. Here I have another red candle. This one has a wick. So once again, I'm not ready. Neither. So I did have one, two. So this actually, I had one of the two I'm looking for, which gave me 2 of the 3 total. So it's not ready. Now I don't have either one of them. So now I only have 1 for 3, right? We need all of them. Now I come over here, my stochastic is still in that downward momentum. Look at my candle, right? Now my candle's not there, but what do I have now? I have my PSAR. I have a PSAR, but my candle has a wick on the top. That's like a really strong wick, right? Look at the wick on here. So we're still not quite there. Now here is where I have a flat top and a PSAR. So now I'm 3 for 3. We 3 for 3. So just imagine you pushing your hands on top of it. Just imagine. So if you had to press down on top of this to make the market go down, what would happen if you put your hand on a stick, on a pointy thing? You're going to get hurt. Think about it in life terms. You're going to get hurt. We don't want to get hurt. And these are Hikanashi candles. They translate. They do the heavy lifting for you. Now, what we want to do is what's called time frame confluence, guys. Time frame confluence, which simply means that the market is in alignment, okay? The market is in alignment. So I'm gonna go to my hour. Now, let's see it. When I come over here to my hour, okay? Now you notice how what we had the X before is now a part of that one. So when I'm looking here, I put those X's there on purpose. So now as I'm looking at this, right? So what you're seeing, I'm on an hour. Now, does this look like it's about to sell? Does it look like it's gearing up for a sale? I'm not really that concerned about this wick. And the reason I'm not concerned about the wick is we know, like this X, we didn't put an X on the one we're evaluating right now. We put these X's on 2 different this X and this arrow on 2 different candles. So if we put an X and an arrow on 2 different candles, but now they're representation and they're on the same one, what does that tell you? That both of these happen to be inside of this candle, okay? That these happen to be inside of this candle, which is why I have a wick there, all right? So we know that one of them wasn't ready. And so what was happening on the lower time frame is why I have a wick at the top. However, I'm not concerned about the wick because I'm not trading, quote unquote, trading this time frame. Make sense? Does that make sense? 555. Just kind of walking you guys through this. Now, I want to drop down to my 5 minute, okay? And when I drop down to my 5 minute, it needs to still be selling. This is so important, okay? This is so important. We saw yesterday how It looked aligned on the higher 2 time frames, but yet wasn't quite there, okay? So now what I wanna do is we know that we had a trade. We know that we had a trade. Now, it's 10 pips and cash out or to your first support and resistance line. And that's ultimately what took place. But what I want to do now is I want you guys to look at higher time frames. Okay, I'm gonna take these X's and X and O's off of here, but we know it's not an O, but it's an arrow. So we know what I want you guys to see is where we are in the market, because I want you to understand how that plays a role. Like, how does that play a role where I am currently in the market? So, and what my market is doing. So I pulled this up so you guys could see it. I kind of think I have one already marked up. So let's look at this. I do want to look at this. All right. I need to look at where I am in the market. So we've been looking at these two currency pairs over the last few calls. So actually quite a few more. We know tomorrow's non-farm payroll. We always check the news first. All right. So what I'm looking at is GBP USD and Euro USD. We've been looking at both of those, right? We've kind of been analyzing both of these. So as I look at this, okay, and I do this, okay, you see that we talked about this morning, but I'm gonna just reiterate it a little bit. So we know that this came down to here. I'm gonna actually take this off of here because I want to walk you guys through it. So we know, like, if I look at support and resistance, okay, you can see, let's go to the 4 hour because it goes back over so far. You can see if I go to the 4 hour where I am. So we already have 3 of them on there. Those were actually take profits when it was supposed to buy, just so those of you, if you weren't on the morning call, you guys understand what that is. Okay. So as I'm looking here, what am I seeing? I'm on a 4 hour chart, right? So what do I always tell you? The 4 hour, the higher time frames, not specifically 4, but my higher time frames is what gives my market direction, right? My higher time frames is what gives the market direction and clarity to understand where we're going. And then, of course, as we look, okay, you can see that this was another one. So when it came back up, it retraced back up to right here, and then it pulled back down, okay? This is what I want you guys to see. So I'm gonna kind of bold this around here. I'm gonna change this to yellow and put a little bit more on that one too. And put a little bit more on this one too. So you can see that this is where it started from, this is where it came back up, and this is where it kind of closed out its structure, you know, which it came back. So it's like, what is it gonna do? Is it gonna come back up, or are we gonna come down? But I want to show you because it's important for you to see how these time frames roll together so you guys can understand how to enter these trades, okay? I want you guys to understand how to enter these trades. So now, are you guys doing 10 pips? Are you doing long-term trades or whatever you're doing? It doesn't matter to me, right? But I know the example was a 10 pip process. So now, or a 10 pip trade. So now, when you look here, what do you see here? What is the market doing? Now, yes, I'm on a 4 hour because we'll get triggers over here. And so I want you to understand that these triggers are very valid. I'm gonna show you where the trigger will happen. But you have to be able to take this trigger and trade this trigger no matter what time frame you're on, right? I need you to be able to take this trigger and analyze it because you guys will keep saying, I'm gonna tell you what I keep hearing. Why are you on a 4 hour if the confluence is only the hour, right? And remember, I talk about how you flow through things, or how you always compartmentalizing, or how we think, you know, even though the 4 hour is not where I'm trading and not what I need for confluence, it's still what I need to understand the market, right? It's still something I need to understand what's going on. Don't we pay attention to the other drivers? Am I driving their cars? Can I drive their cars? Absolutely not. But I still pay attention to them because they can impact my trip. So you want to make sure we're paying attention to what's happening in the market. So now, as I'm looking at this, you see that this is rejecting. Okay, so this 4 hour candle came down and rejected. This one, it rejected here. So if I keep getting a lot of rejection, there's a strong probability that the market is about to turn. All right. So that's a strong probability. Now, if I drop down to the hour, okay, I want you to look actually because I have two of them on here. Let me change the color in this one. All right. So if I come down to the hour, let me see that. I can make it nice and bold. All right. So if I come down here, you can see, okay, that you see what the rejection looks like. Now let's go a little bit further. Now, does this look like a pattern? And I'm asking that because of what somebody asked me the other day, you know, which I get quite a bit, but does that look like any sort of market pattern at all? Does that look like any market pattern? Yes, it does. So it looks like a market pattern. And what did I tell you guys? That they're valid. They're valid, but if you understand what's happening, so now the wicks on my 4-hour have market pattern on my 30-minute, right? So now I drop down a little bit more, and you'll probably see it just a little bit clearer for those of you all who might not have recognized it at first. So my wicks, right? This is where my wicks are. It's a wick on my 4-hour, but now it's market structure on my 15, right? Or market pattern on my 30-15. So you see a market pattern, which is a reversal. Yes, it is structure and a structure, but you can see it is a market and a market and a pattern and a pattern. You're absolutely correct. But what you can see, okay, what you can see is this is a wick. And so this is telling me what this is going to do. And so now also on my 4-hour, what do I have? I have a blue line crossing over the red. All right. I have a blue line crossing over the red right here. So now that, you know, my 4-hour holds a lot of weight. It's a higher time frame. It's going to hold more weight than my 15. So now you can see where this is moving up. And then of course, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put another one right here where my stochastic reached the top. Now you can see it might not have started falling right away on this side of it, but you can see that everything that's actually in between here, look at how it's rising, right? Look at what it's doing, everything that did that. So look at this, and then of course, look right here, right? So now, any questions, comments, or testimonies so far? I want to make sure, I don't want to just keep talking. I want to make sure your questions are getting answered. So I rejected my stochastic, right? When you're looking to enter a trade, we're talking about areas of value, right? Areas of values are important for entering a trade. So what is the BYOB cash out strategy, right? The BYOB cash out strategy is price action with a twist. So the twist is it incorporates the areas of value. So whenever you take a trade, okay, whenever you're trading, your entry and you're looking for great entry, it's always going to be around an area of value. An area of value should be near. Well, one of the areas of value is moving average. Inside of my stochastic is there. All right. Also, trend candles, right? Support and resistance, support and resistance. Those are what we call areas of value. This is as close as you're going to get to price action without price action, you know, without just doing price action. So you're using a strategy that literally is a walking. That's why I call it price action with a twist, because price action uses 3 areas of values. That's what traders are looking at. But now you're talking about price action with a twist, okay? So here you have it. And this is that move up. So as my stochastic is moving up here, my trade is moving up here. Now, as I drop down, okay, once again, now I see the pattern in there, which is why I told you I'm just not I'm not a quote unquote pattern trader, but I know the patterns, okay? So, and what I mean by not a pattern trader is somebody who is just strictly looking for market patterns or using these market patterns to make the trade, like using the market patterns to obviously to try to get into the trade, or that's what they're looking for because that helps. So you know, that's what this is. And so that's not the type of trader that I am, right? So that's why I don't, but I know it. So this is why I'm showing you and I'm telling you. So now when we're looking at that entry, so let's go back up here, okay? Because if something triggers, right, on the 5 or the 15, then we're looking for something, right? And you can also do it from a top-down approach because it hits those higher time frames. So here, let's just look where this one actually turn around. You already know my stochastic was already in that upward momentum. I'm on euro. I forgot we haven't moved back to GBP yet because I was going to tell you guys. I was definitely going to tell you guys that I wasn't going to be concerned about the drop down right now. So it worked out anyway. So you see, this is turning back into a buy. And so now if I get something that's triggered on those other time frames, okay, my 5 or my 15, when I come back here and I get my triggers, now you know how to look at it, because here I am on a 15-minute chart. Let's pull this down. Here I am on a 15-minute chart. And so look, blue line, cross over to red and an upward momentum, green candle with a flat bottom, and then I'd be looking for that PSR flip. So this is where we actually had everything in alignment. Questions, comments, testimonies. Questions, comments, testimonies. Questions, comments, testimonies. So you can see how it all plays together. Questions, comments, testimonies. I mean, to enter a trade, it should be around the area of value, which is why we have such high accuracy rate with the BYOB cash out. Then also, you know, you have to incorporate and you have to use your higher time frames. Okay, y'all quiet. You know, we gonna get these 6 figures now. We're gonna get these 6 figures. So if I'm looking at my higher time frame and incorporating my higher time frame, okay, I'm just trying to get your accuracy there. Just trying to get your accuracy there. This is what tonight is about, your accuracy. Now, on my 4 hour, you see I also have this. So I'm looking, right? My confluence is, you say, we focus. So, you know, as I'm looking at this, well, thank you. This is powerful. Thank you. So as we're looking at this, and of course, I'm over here. So now, as I'm looking here, you can see where this is moving up. So this is what's being triggered, right? This is what's being triggered. Let's get over here. Let me go that far with this one. So this is where my triggers happen. And so this is what I mean when I say, hey, the 5 minute could be a tighter entry. So you can take a 5 minute trigger, come back and analyze all of this. So let me show you where my scalpers live. My scalpers live in here. My scalpers live in all of this, right? My scalpers are here, they're over here, right? So let's talk about that too for just a moment. So super scalpers are here, like right? That's how y'all trade, in and out, right? Super scalper. Then of course you have your scalpers who want 10 pips cash out, first support and resistance line. Voila, we made it, right? You walked into success. And then you like here. And then of course for my, you can do the zone to zone, or let me show you. Actually, I don't want to. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this. All right. That's what I'm trying to do. So now what you guys do is kind of, you know, you'll wait until this comes up, pulls back to make sure that we're getting that. And then of course, so some of you guys, obviously this one it wasn't as smooth. It just wasn't smooth. But so depending on your trading style, my super scalpers is like, oh, opportunity, got it. My scalpers, 10 pips and cash out or first support and resistance line. My intraday or my swing traders or what have you, you guys are waiting, right? You see, you allow the market to come up, you allow it to pull back and retest, and then you allow it to move. And then so once we know we have that wave, that pattern, that's when you all getting a trade. So you all might not have touched the trade till right here, till we got that next pullback. And this is where you guys probably would have touched the trade. All right. So this is where your market style, right, how this is where it comes into play. And I did drop the trading journal, how to connect your account, and I dropped the trading plan, right? Yeah, I love it too. And I dropped the plan in there to create your trading plan. So that's how you can kind of make those decisions. Because, like, for example, if you're a scalper, you might be like, you know what, I only take 3 trades a day, or I only take 5 trades, or only do what have you. But I want you guys to get to the habit of what I do want to be a part of your trade plan. If you're going to accurately compound, is that you don't take trades until you see the setup. And if it, like, let's say somebody drop a 777 and they see the setup, but then you don't see the setup, right? So if you don't see the setup, don't take the trade. Take the trades where you see the setup. Because if only, how many trades is in the market a day? How many trades are in the market a day? Like, I can't even express to you how many trades, right? Exactly. So why do we feel like we have to take the trade if it's not, we're not 100% comfortable with it? I do not want you making donations, okay? If you want to donate to something, there are many charities, include, one of them is me. But I'm just kidding. But I'm not. Um, well, how you say, you too. Today you had to have patience. So what is this week? What is this week? The first week of every month. If you've been a trader longer than a month, exactly, NFP. If you've been a trader for longer than a month, you know about NFP, okay? The first week of the month is always slow. And not everybody got a charity. All of y'all have one. So yeah, you know about NFP. And NFP, the week is slow. So I know people, like, we made money today. We took a US 30 trade on the 5 a.m. call. It took profit. We made money. But we know what we're doing, right? We understand the market. But I know some people don't trade this week at all. I know, like, in my personal trade plan, I don't trade, I really don't trade on Friday afternoons. I don't do a lot of trading in afternoons, but I don't trade on Friday afternoons at all. I don't care what's going on, right? I don't care if it's NFP. I don't care what's going on, because that has been my, my story. Like, that's what is me. I don't trade on holidays. So that's mine. But yet you guys drop 777s in the chat. And that's okay, right? Everybody you have to find what works for you. And as you find what works for you, what I'm here to do is just help guide you in the process and help you see the market so you could determine your trading style. And that's why the education aspect is so important. So based on what we just talked about, right, as what we're looking at, do I have any questions, any comments, any testimonies? Any questions, any comments? We'll go look at GBP/USD as well. But I just need to know if you have any questions, any comments, any testimonies, okay? Now look at this, okay? Look at this. Do you not see that this one, the blue line cross over the red, is very important? What is this thing doing, right? What are you doing? What are you doing? So it's definitely a new hour candle at the top of the hour. And if I look at my 4-hour, right, looks like we're trying to reject. It even pulled up at one point, So, well, thank you. That's the perfect setup call for the next 6 months. Thank you. So as you can see, this blue line is crossing over the red. Blue line crossing over red, and that downward momentum. We need it in an upward momentum. So it looks like it appears that we're rejecting, but we're not quite there yet. So here you can see how we're flatlining a little bit, but we still haven't began to do anything. We haven't triggered over here. These GBPs are triggering. But as you kind of look at this, okay, you see how I play with the market and play with the charts. I'm in and out, I zoom in, I zoom out, I zoom out, I zoom in, right? So that's really what you guys want to get in the habit. So I mean, look at this. And I look at my 15. So we even have, looks like, so you see how you see all the rejection that's happening? This is why we haven't had a trigger yet, but sometimes these trigger a lot. And so this just is where we're not trading. Now I know my super scalpers get a pip or two. You needed to break through the support in the zone to see a setup. I'm looking for, well, it's going to depend on tomorrow. But in a perfect world, right? In a perfect world, I'm looking for this to curve back. We're oversold, right? Looking at where the market is, we have a lot of rejection that's happening. I'm hitting a, you know, it came down a little bit from where it rejected before, but it's still that same zone area. So that's in a perfect world. But we probably won't get much because this is paired with US dollar. So it's really going to be determining what the US dollar does, right? As far as the strength of the US dollar. So based on the strength of the US dollar tomorrow, if it wasn't NFP, I'd be like, you guys kind of wait on this. This is what we're going to do. This is coming up, right? It's going to buy. It kind of looked like, since y'all like patterns, what does this look like it's forming? Since you guys like patterns. Since y'all want to talk about patterns, do you see anything? That's why I say in a perfect world. And you can see all the this is what I'm looking for. You never hear me mention those, but this is what I'm looking for, right? This is what you still need to know them. You see how I know them and I can see them? I'm just not basing my trades off of them. Because I would definitely like, oh, let's just put a buy stop right here and what is this? Okay, I'm oversold, I'm rejecting. What am I doing? I'm rejecting, I'm oversold, but it's still too much strength. Let's just drop a pivot on here. Let's incorporate a pivot tonight because we talk about these all the time, right? My S1 is right here. My pivot point, look, you can't even see it. You can see the line, but you can't even see the P because it's in the candles. Look where my pivot point is. And where did I say we should come back up to? Right? So you can see. So everything is in alignment because the pivot point is that center point of the market. Come back over here. Look where my pivot point is before they started wicking out. So it makes sense. You know, it can pull a little bit. Look where my S1 is. It definitely could touch. It could drop a little bit more. But that doesn't mean, and that doesn't mean we're not buying, but because tomorrow is NFP, all right, the US dollar, right, Euro, US dollar, US dollar, US dollar, US dollar, US dollar, US dollar, US dollar. So based on the reports, and that's going to have tremendous impact on the strength or the weakness of the US dollar. If something happened and the US dollar gets really, really strong, then this can continue to sell for a little bit, all right? And if it turns around and the numbers are not quite there or they're weaker, then this is going to buy because it's going to weaken the US dollar. And so we'll just continue with our market pattern, our analysis that came out. All right. So questions, comments, testimony? Yes, aware, but waiting as if the W did not declare it itself. That's it right there. You're aware of it, but it does not determine your setup. It does not declare your trade, right? That's exactly correct. And NFP is not eating your money. So I told you guys, cash out. I'll give it to you. All right. So let's come over here. Let me see here. That was where we were. It's this one. So let me come up here to my higher time frame. And you can kind of see this one kind of broke past this little zone. So you can definitely see that. So let me show you though. All right. So once again, higher time frame. The GBP USD trigger. So now they went away. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Dr. B got me in the habit of rereading these comments. So, but it says, wow, amazing how much on each call. I keep learning. Thank you. So now, he talks about me all the time. So I could talk about him just a little bit. So now, as you see, right, the rejection right here. So you see us getting rejected right there. And what we're doing, okay, so you can see where the rejection is happening, rejection. So we're at a significant line, but it's already broke past it a little bit. So it's really possible that you're right, we're going to be oversold for a little while. And that's okay. You know, it's oversold. But once again, they're all the GBP USDs are doing, not all the GBP, obviously it's only one GBP USD. All of the GBPs are I'm gonna start over. All of the USDs are doing the same thing, right? All of the USDs are doing the same thing. And so if you see, this is sitting on the S1. So you can see where it kind of pulled down to exactly what I was just telling you about, you know, about the other one. Ah, told you to go, greatest. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what? You're not gonna play with me tonight. Tell say USD 3 times. So, but you see, just as I was telling you about Euro USD, how it can pull down to here. Okay, and so it's that same. So you see, this one is actually now bouncing off of this pivot line, but it has it, you know, so you can kind of see how the candles start flattening out. All right. So obviously, if you're an HFX trader, you know, this you guys will have like what based on what we just discussed right in here. This is going to help you with your HFX trades too. You understand what the market is doing. You understand because you know that it's about to turn around and you can go in and take some trades, right? You understand where you're wicking out and what's happening. And so it's really going to help you create those zones for those support and resistance and you know, kind of create those areas that's really going to help you. All right. So questions, comments, testimonies, guys. I just want to make sure that as we go through this, like I say, you can see this. So you see my 4 hour where my stochastic started its curve down. You see where the momentum is coming. You see where my stochastic stopped. But yet, obviously, we kept going. But what we didn't do tonight is account for this, right? When it keeps going. But sometimes it does that. And so that'll come with your experience. Where I want you all to focus for building a foundation, because like I said, it's levels. It's kind of in these areas, being able to use the trigger, come take the trigger and then analyze it, right? So let's do one. Let's just do one. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. You saw how they kept buying some. So I don't know about you guys, if you guys made the money or not. So now let's click on GBP AUD. All right. So I'm gonna trigger on the 15 and it trigger for a buy. So I'm gonna put this call price on here. So now I'm gonna walk you through an analysis of one based on what we just discussed. So now let's make sure we have the call price right, 84316. All right, so that's where it triggered. I'm gonna put an arrow so you all stay with me that it triggered for a buy. It was 18 minutes ago. So obviously it was in this candle right up in here. All right. It's typically called in a correction. Let's go check our hour. My hour is buying, but is it really? You know, it looked like it's trying to buy. It's just no liquidity. So come check my 4 hour. Let's find out where we are. So if I come up here and I now try to figure out where we are in the market, what I do know, let's talk about what we see. That we stopped getting higher highs. So this was moving up, but look at this. So look at where this market is. So it rejected here, rejected. It really didn't reject, but it passed through there just a little bit. And now you see where we're getting rejected a little bit. So it's like it's trying to break through. That's what it's attempting to do, is to break through. So we already had that momentum ride up from here to here, remember, right? And so now this one's not flatline like the other one. This one pulled back. But look at how it's like it ran back and it's like, I'm coming through, you know? So will it go through? You know, that's the question. But let's talk about where we are. Because if I look at this market, where's the possibility? Can I come up here? Is this where I'm going? Right? Is that where I'm going? But the way it's sitting there, you know, is there something I really want to touch right now? So we haven't been down here long. We came down here in COVID, during COVID. So the probability and the possibility, am I gonna come up? Where was it at before? Where was the market at? I'm just trying to get you guys to see this market, right? So you see how it kind of goes up and it comes down. And so is it just time for it to come back up? So that's what I'm trying to do, is get you guys to see. But what I do know is that here, this is where you need to be looking. So it's rejected here, it rejected here, and it rejected here. But yet this was over 6 months ago. Anything over 6 months is significant. Don't ask me the question like, oh, what about 5 months? Just anything over 6 months, okay? Anything over 6 months is significant. So now, as we look here, okay, and we're doing this, look at where we are. So now I know this is that boundary area where I would be looking at my trades. All right, that's that boundary area. So I kind of want to stop there to a certain extent, but I do want to answer any questions. You guys said, you guys said that you're focused. And so I definitely want to give you guys an opportunity to, ask whatever questions you have, because I want to make sure we have an opportunity to go back. So if you look at, the market does repeat itself. I mean, it really does. But 6 months, like let's look. Let me show you. Let's just show you. So anything, it's like the support and resistance, they're very impactful. And so if I'm gonna have to come to the higher time frame to kind of show you what I mean. So if you really look at it, right? So actually, I know the story on GBP, so I'll walk you through this one. I mean, Euro is probably kind of the same, but I know that because Euro and GBP got a divorce. So now, if I'm looking at GBP USD, you see I'm on a daily. So here, this is March area, right? We actually broke past this area. Okay, so we broke past here. Now, what's so significant about that? February, March, we broke past. We came below it in 2018. All right. And we also were up here in 16. So this is when they made a decision to get a divorce. Look at how it shot down in one day. Right? So this is where fundamentals make an impact. So look at how far this shot down. So it came down. Look at how many pips that is. I'm gonna just let y'all look at it. I'm not even, but look how many pips it dropped in one day. It's like, was I not trading in? It's like, why wasn't I trading then? Right? So when you look at it, that's kind of when it dropped down there. And so you can see that anytime the market, it has tried to come back up to that point, right? Anytime you see you got the rejection areas, so it broke through there. That's the day they made a decision. It's really not the day they got a divorce. It just got a divorce at the end of last year. So that's how long it took. It was a nasty one, right? So and they still fighting over the paperwork. So when you look at it, so if you hear somebody talk about Brexit, that's what it is. So it's just the divorce for them. So now when you look, and you can kind of see where we came through here in 18, right? Since you guys want to talk about market patterns, look at that one. And then of course, they're going to be strong on a higher time frame. Now, you can see we hung out down here for a while. Right? So this is, in March, and then of course it's been rising. And so we actually had that conversation on a training call when it got to around this point, but you see it came through. So now what are we doing? Is it just a wick up, or do we have another double top? Like, what is it that we're doing, right? So we're waiting to see what the market's going to do, and you can kind of see, but these lines are very significant. So anything over 6 months means it's going to be a real strong area of support and resistance that the market is going to have to try to pass through. So the market normally, it can reject and turn around there for a while before it'll break through there. Questions, comments, any more? Good question though. Any more questions, comments, testimonies? I know, right? Where were you at for that day for the divorce? I'm like, where was I at? But you know what? When COVID happened, you know, we was here at COVID. So we was here when that hit. We was definitely here when COVID hit. And we definitely knew how to, you know, take that money out of the market when that happened. We definitely got that money. All right. Oh, well, thank you. Phenomenal call. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So no more questions, no more comments, no more testimonies. All right. That means everybody is ready. We're ready. We're ready. We're ready. And, you know, we're ready. We're ready. We're ready. And, you know, I'm going to just use in the words of Miss Brownlee. I know it's not your song, Miss Brownlee, but I know you said all we do is win, 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 no matter what. So I'm giving Miss Brownlee credit for that. So, right, that's all we're doing is winning, win, win. All we do is win, win, win. All right, we are locked and loaded. You are so welcome. So are we ready? We are doing 6 figures in 6 months. So if you are a 111 in this call, you can get started, focus on your $100 days. You can get started, focused on, you know, but, and oh, before you guys start compounding, okay, let me walk you through something. Get some consistency in your trade account. If it takes you a month to get consistency, that's okay. All right. That's okay. Because what you don't want to do is if you hit or miss on your trades because you haven't quite narrowed down that entry point, if you're still pushing the issue, if you're there, right? We're gonna be smart about this, okay? If you're there, get the consistency. Go watch the training that I dropped in the Telegram. Go watch it. Attach your account to, you know, go attach your account to the online trade journal. Let it analyze it for you, right? That training call, we broke it down, it analyzes it for you. Let it analyze it, right? So let it walk you through it. And I'm telling you right now, get some consistency because you don't want to compound 3 trades. And then on the 4th trade, you know that you're like 50%. And then on that 4th trade, then you turn around and you know what, you pull back. So we don't want to do that. We want the consistency because even when you're compounding, even when you're looking at your trade journal, you have goals. I want you guys focused on the big picture. I want you guys focused on where am I going to be at the end of the month, right? I want you guys focused on, you know, like your overall picture and not each individual trade like that, but let's get the consistency first. And if you have to be in your demo account to get it, so be it, okay? Be excited about that. Be excited, get excited, all right? Let's get some consistency, but you should still be compounding when you should be ready. So don't say, oh, well, I can't do this. I got to stop. I got to wait. No, get the consistency, be focused, because tell yourself, I compound. This is my 6-figure year. This is the year of transformation, okay? But I just want you to do everything in excellence. Everything in excellence because we operate in excellence, because we are excellent and we are educated BYOB master traders, right? That is who we are. So yes, compound, compound, compound. We are compounding in, right? Yes, consistency and persistency to compound. We compound in, not just out, right? We compound in, not just out. So let's go get these 6 figures. This is our Independence Month. Yes, happy Independence Month. 6 figures in 6 months. Let's get it. See, I didn't even have to say it. You typed it in the chat. So let's get it. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I am so excited.